This is a really interesting question. The question is, you're considering signing up and doing my full program,
Yes.
but you have reservations because one of the things that we advocate is developing a healthy social life and then using that as a tool to meet people naturally. And I get that because you're not sure what social life you'd create. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I find fascinating about dating is the normal way for human beings to meet and mate is through our social network. This is the way it has always been done. It is very unlikely for us to just go out, meet somebody, walk up to them and be like, hey, let's go do this. If you ask all your friends how they met their partner previously to online dating, they would all have said, I met them through friends. Not through work, very important, it's through friends, almost always. Or they might be a freelance job, but still kind of through the social network. Online dating has changed that. And some people have found a lot of success through online dating, and I don't really boo-boo it, but it's not the only way. Your social network is almost always the best way to do it. But because you've not been on the program, you don't know the way that we help people develop their social network. And I know that because you already told me that you've developed the social network already and it already exists. So if you joined our program, we wouldn't have you create one because you've already built it.
Okay.
And that's because you told me you're a musician. And the best social network you can ever create is the one you already have. What we advocate is adding more people to it. And one of the big mistakes that people make is they'll have their social network and they'll hang out with the same friends over and over again and wonder why they're never meeting anyone, because they're meeting the same people over and over again that are already in relationships or aren't interested in them. What you need to do is to increase the amount of people you meet. And as a musician, one of the easiest ways to meet new people is to invite them to come and listen to your music. Let's be real. Anyone that dates you is probably going to have to put up with your music and listen to it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Sounds about right. So wouldn't it be so much better if they genuinely liked listening to your music?
Yeah.
And if they were like, every time you played, they stopped what they were doing and they sat and listened to you, and they were like, I could listen to you play forever, that's what I want. So we already know that one of the best criteria to finding a partner for you is somebody who wants to listen to your music, who literally idolizes it and wants to have that in their life, versus someone that constantly says to you, turn the music down, drive me crazy, right? That's what we want. So the best first date for you will always be that place where you come and watch me perform, come and listen to me. So the reason we advocate this in a social network is we advocate meeting people in all different ways. But how much better if you were using online dating and your first date was, hey, listen, how about we grab a coffee? I'm actually going to be performing at such and such bar at 7 p.m. next Thursday. I do it every week. Would you want to grab a coffee beforehand? We can sit and chat. And what this does is it gives people a definite end to the date, which is very important. All dates must have a definite end so people don't think they're going to be stuck with you the whole night. And you say to them, I'm going to have to go anyway because I've got to go and do my musician thing. And then if the date's good and you like them, you can say to them,
this was really fun. Would you like to do it again?
Nope. And that's why you got to do the training.
Okay.
You can say to them, I'm going to go and perform at that gig afterwards that I told you about. Would you like to come with me? And now you've given them an opportunity to extend the date, to take it a step further. No pressure, they don't have to, but they can. And if they do, if they say yes, you know that this is someone that might like you. And if they like your music and they hang out well, that's going to be one of the best dates you've ever done. And they'll turn up and they'll see all your friends and all the people that come and listen to your music, and you'll be at your most attractive. What's cool about this is if they don't want to do that, then you know you probably don't want to date them. And all you lost was a 30-minute coffee. And if they do come, but they don't like you in that way, in a romantic way, you just gained a new fan to your music who's going to come and listen to your music anyway, and they'll just keep adding and building up that pre-selection and making you look really cool. I have yet to have a musician that followed this technique not end up being swamped with prospects. There are a few categories of career that will naturally make you attractive. One of them is a musician. And by utilizing this technique, you're optimizing it at the same time as building your business and building your brand and having more people follow you. So that is what we would advocate. We would never advocate for somebody to create a social life that wasn't naturally something they wanted to do. In fact, to give you an idea, one of my social networks that I created is a Dungeons and Dragons group. Where, in fact, I found a picture the other day. I used to, once a year, I would travel to the AVNs, which is the Adult Video Network, and basically the Adult Entertainment Expo. And I would go every year, and I used to organize the annual Dungeons and Dragons game at the Adult Entertainment Expo. So I would have adult entertainers. And I actually have a photo on my phone of me hanging out with a whole bunch of very famous adult entertainers playing Dungeons and Dragons. I organize it every year. And the reason this is in my mind right now is I got reached out to by one of them the other day who said, I'm missing your Dungeons and Dragons game. Me and some girls want to play a regular Dungeons and Dragons game. If we flew you to Vegas, would you play Dungeons and Dragons with us? And they added me to a Discord group where I could sit and chat to all of the other adult entertainers to discuss the potential Dungeons and Dragons game as these women want to fly me out there to play Dungeons and Dragons with them. So what I'm saying is, your groups, your social groups should only ever be something that you would naturally want to do. And you know, I don't find it completely deplorable to play Dungeons and Dragons with adult entertainers. It's not a terrible thing to do. And you know, 13-year-old nerd me finds it fascinating that the adult entertainers are texting me, being like, please come, we'll fly you out. Yeah, you can come and live in our house. And that is my life. And so that's the key. So I love that you're considering, you know, signing up and being one of our students. We'd love to have you. You know, the full program, you probably know it already, but it's a 6-month program. And during that program, the focus is on understanding all the elements of attraction. It's understanding how to be more attractive, how to be more confident, hold down conversation. And the social aspect that you mentioned is such a small part of it, but it is important because it gets people to join your life. And that's the goal. What you don't want to be doing is running around and chasing, and you know, you've got one girl that might like you, so you've decided to start horse riding because that's what they like doing, and then another girl likes swimming, so you're getting your scuba diving certification. And this is what guys do, and we're changing it, and we're making it so you're leading your life, you've got your goal, and you're inviting people to come and join it. And the ones that do will enjoy being with you more, you'll enjoy being with them more, and you'll just get a better connection.
Okay, great.
Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But the thing is, this is Austin, so it is tough to get a gig. But where I found success was just like being open to not just doing the same thing that I've done for 15 years. I mean, the genre I play, which is kind of saturated, sort of like the Texas red dirt thing. I ended up with a reggae band, and I'm playing tomorrow night at the Sahara Lounge. And that is, to quote a David Lee Roth interview, he was like, you know, there were all these prog rock guys in the 70s, and they weren't like playing like any of the clubs where the women wanted to go because women want to dance. And so I feel like things are working out because, like, you know, I'm playing with this band there, and it's a great locale. But yeah, so it's just there's a lot of work, is all I'm saying.
Absolutely, and this is why we love working with people, because I think you have a limiting belief around this.
Okay.
You got to remember, if that's the kind of music you're playing, that's the kind of music the women are going to end up listening to that date you, because that's what you're doing.
Oh yeah, I've definitely entered the reggae world. I've left the old world behind.
Which is absolutely great, and that's why it's so important. Remember, the women that you're meeting, you're not throwing that up there as the first thing. They get to meet the real you, and then you say to them, hey, I'm going to go and do this thing. Would you like to come with me? Trust me, I don't meet women that are like, man, I really wish I could meet a Dungeons and Dragons player. That is not what's happening.
Okay.
What happens is they meet me normally, and then I say to them, hey, I've got to go and run a Dungeons and Dragons game. Would you like to play Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
And these women are not like, oh my God, I've got a level 40 character in my back pocket. Can I bring them to the game? They're saying to me, I have never played Dungeons and Dragons before. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'll say to them, are you open to the idea of trying? Yeah. And these women who have never played Dungeons and Dragons before say, I'll try it.
Okay.
And they come out and they sit and play Dungeons and Dragons. At the end of the game, they're like, that was so fun.
Yeah.
We've got to do it again.
Yeah.
So it's exactly the same, I promise you. It's just in your head, you're like, but this isn't the kind of music they want. It's irrelevant. We've got to find you the person that likes you. And you're going to introduce them to this music. And they're going to say, wow, that was great. In fact, so I have 2 girlfriends, and they know about each other. It's not like a secret. One of my girlfriends, when we first met, she'd never really explored reggae music. And I introduced her to it. And although she'd heard about it and knew it existed, I took her to a bar that was playing reggae music, and I got her up on the floor and started slow dancing with her and doing the slow dips and all the grinds and stuff that you do. And she's like, this is one of the most sensual sexual dances I've ever done. I was like, yeah. And she's like, I like it. And this is a girl from Austin, Texas, who does Texas two-step.
Yeah.
So that's a limiting belief I believe you've got, and you'll crush it when you bring them out to that to see you perform, and they're like, wow, I like this. That's how you know you've met the right girl.
Okay.
And that's part of it, is it's a selection tool. Because the ones that come out and say, this sucks, I want to go to a dance club, you probably don't want to be with.
No.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
So use it as a tool.
Right on.
Cool, man.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.